Paolo Banchero has been splendid for the Orlando Magic through his first couple NBA games. He's looked incredible, and the way that he's playing offense is really, really interesting. Obviously, a star offensive prospect, and has already been really, really impactful on offense as a rookie this early. Like 24 points a game, like 10 rebounds, I think, almost 4 assists, as we'll get into more. And where he has immediately been the most dominant and most lethal is in transition, where at 6'10", like there just aren't a lot of guys at 6'10" with his speed and fluidity and strength to be able to like string together a move and get by John Collins and draw a foul. And he draws so many fouls already, which we'll get to more. His passing also really shines in transition. This is like a very simple little hit-ahead lob to Wendell Carter. You can argue he should have passed this a little bit earlier. The ball should probably be out here, but Paolo is hitting Wendell Carter. I love how he passes this ball high, away from Justin Holiday, only where Wendell can snag that ball. It's really, really good stuff. And Paolo, his defense was rough the first game, a little better this second game against Atlanta, which is the clip. I meant to say that we're just going to go through the Atlanta clips as he nabs this steal and is able to lead the fast break and get another assist there. The Magic, their early offense is so creative and so versatile. They love this little pick and slip play. They ran this with Franz as the ball handler and Cole Anthony earlier in the quarter as well. Any of these guys, 5 guys, can play either of these positions. And Paolo bringing the ball up has the passing ability to, and like the scoring threat too, to find Franz on this slip to where he can get an interior pass and create free throws. The passing is very, very impressive in the open floor for Paolo. Overall, it is developing. Paolo's passing was always really good in certain areas and not so good in other areas. He is at best passing when he is, working off of his threat as a scorer. Stuff like this, where he can attack off ball. Paolo's off ball game has been really, really seamless. Obviously, he's never really played this kind of role because, like in high school, a guy like him is always going to be like the main on ball creator. And at Duke, they don't really run actual offense. But with Orlando, he's able to play off ball, attack closeouts, to where guys are gonna play his jumper, which is not going in yet, but I think it will. When he has the speed to beat John Collins' baseline and just throw a wicked pass to Terrence Ross and ends up creating a wide open shot. This is beautiful, man. Gets Onyeka in the air. All 5 sets of eyes are pinned onto Paolo, and he's able to sling that pass out and create a wide open 3. Really, really good stuff. And I like his willingness as a pick and roll ball handler to like try these kind of passes, even if they're not currently getting through. I do like that Paolo, 1, is empowered by the Magic, and 2, is seemingly empowered and is willing to try these kind of simple pocket passes where he puts a little too much juice on this. And Wendell probably should have caught this, but not a perfect pass for sure. But I really like his willingness to experiment and to try those passes. Paolo's, one of his big issues is his decisiveness, where Paolo kind of toils on the ball a lot of the time. He's not quick making decisions in a lot of situations, especially when he's thinking about scoring. Paolo can often wait around, jab a little bit, triple threat, wait for a defender to bite, which works in isolation, but means that on the short roll, which the Magic are using Paolo in quite a bit, and we'll get to that, and we'll get to that later, where Paolo, instead of kicking out to one of his wide open shooters, Paolo is, and you see Wendell Carter, you see Ross pointing at Wendell Carter. Paolo is, eventually sees this, but by the time Paolo is ready to make this pass, John Collins is out there, and that advantage has been squandered. Again, Paolo is kind of just seeing situations that are brand new to him. He gets doubled right here, and he just does not feel Justin Holiday coming in to steal this ball. He's not aware of where these other defenders are, which is okay. This is a tough read to make, and a lot of rookies, especially like him, probably wouldn't make that. But there are definitely issues with his passing. I think a lot of this stuff will get ironed out as he gets used to NBA speed and just like the quickness and the pace of NBA defenses and what is kind of going on. But for his second game, I would say there's some good passing stuff and some bad passing stuff. But Orlando has entrusted Paolo with a lot of on-ball creation responsibility, and that's one of Orlando's kind of big overarching offensive issues is their lack of consistent advantage in scoring creation, especially with like Markelle Fultz out to not having that rim pressure. And where Paolo's not perfect, again you see like the kind of tunnel vision here where he kind of slips in. He and Clint Capella had a really fun battle in this game where they kind of went back and forth at each other. But there are moments where Paolo is really able to use his speed and his size. Like Clint Capella is one of the better perimeter defensive bigs in the league, and he he was really good in this game. But Paolo gave him a lot of trouble. Like Paolo is so fast at that size. His handle is so good. He's so fluid. He's such a good finisher that these bigs who don't have the foot speed are not going to be able to keep up with Paolo. Like he was cooking all of these dudes. Again, you're gonna see a lot of Paolo Wendell pick and rolls. They are a crazy duo, and you're gonna force a lot of teams, especially that run bigger lineups, to put both of their bigs in pick and roll situations. To have one of them guarding the ball, which is out of their comfort zone, and then you have Paolo getting downhill, using a little like kind of hezzy 1-2 step to inside scoop around Clint Capella. The finishing craft is wonderful. It is wonderful. And Paolo has really played a lot on the ball over his first two games. Obviously, the sample is really small, but 31 usage is extremely high on like pretty solid efficiency for a rookie. Just below league average true shooting on really high usage. Obviously, super small sample, but really good so far. And, again, a big part of that is that he's just drawing so many fouls. Like 7 free throws, 7.5 free throws a game. This 42 free throw rate is really incredible. This stuff definitely might not hold because the sample is so small. But Paolo has been really great. As like an advantage creator, offensive initiator this early. He is getting to the rim more than anybody on the Magic, and a lot of his rim attempts are unassisted as well, and he's shooting really solidly at the rim as well. So the scoring profile is just so impressive for a rookie of his age. And even when Paolo isn't like creating a ton of space with his handles, his advantage creation forces defenses to collapse onto him. Like bigs aren't for 99% of the time, bigs aren't the type of defenders who are going to force the action on the ball. Bigs aren't going to aggressively mirror and try to beat guys to spots and dictate where they go. They're going to contain and try not to give up anything significant. That's what Onyeka's doing here. That's what all the bigs do. But what that does is Paolo gets 1 foot in the restricted area, and you have, again, 3 defenders collapsing on Paolo. And Wendell Carter is very smart, notices this and backs out to the three-point line, and eventually they create an advantage, to which Orlando can't capitalize on this, but that is an advantage created for Paolo right there. All because of just how dominant he is already and how feared he is already as an advantage creator. And I really liked this possession as well, getting him this no hesitation mid-range on the short roll, even if he didn't end up hitting it. We saw this possession earlier in the video where Paolo had this short roll play where he hesitated, he didn't shoot right away, he didn't make a pass, and he ended up squandering an advantage situation. Which is why I really enjoyed Paolo being so decisive here. The second he gets the ball, he's pulling up for this mid-range, which is a shot he's definitely going to hit. A decent margin, a decent amount of the time. But Paolo looks great. I mean, he's going to be awesome on offense. They're definitely improving points. I'm interested to see how the passing progresses as he gets more comfortable with NBA offense, and with NBA spacing and things like that. And the shots obviously need to fall at some point, but it's really early. But the Magic are really good. The Magic are going to be quite solid, I think, this year. And a big reason for that is going to be what Paolo can do on the offensive end as a rookie. He's really special.